Hey guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and today I am bringing you my first reading vlog of the year. So I had this wild grand plan to be posting 3 times a week this year. I had everything laid out. I knew exactly what I was going to be posting through until mid-February. And then January happened, and that just kind of all fell apart. So I always call January my nemesis because I feel like no matter what I do, there's something about how dark it is and how cold it is and how bleak it is, especially in the UK, where I just feel like I don't really get much done. I get very kind of sluggish and sleepy, and yeah, so I should have thought that through a little bit better, but that's okay. I figured I would do a vlog as something to kind of tide me over until I can actually feel like I'm happy to film again. I have one video which is filmed and needs to be edited, but that's pretty much my backlog. That's my most disappointing books of 2020. So yeah, I'm gonna do this vlog so that I can actually have something to show you guys and to talk about and stuff like that. But yeah, January's been a little bit of a slower month for me, which is not terribly surprising. But in good news, I am doing lots and lots of reading, and I'll talk about what I've been reading in a minute. At the moment, I am currently attempting to write a review for Tales from the Hinterland by Melissa Albert, which you may or may not remember. I thought the first book was okay, and I really actually quite disliked the second one, but the thing that I really wanted from that series is the book Tales from the Hinterland, which is the the book of dark fairy tales that the main character's grandmother has written, and it turns out that they're all true in this world that she's sort of occupying. And I really like this. I thought this was really good. So I'm currently writing a review so I can post that on Instagram and maybe on the blog, which is sort of not the most active place in the world, but I am trying to kind of get that going as well. But yeah, that sort of reminded me to actually speak to you guys. So I'll be having that up on Instagram soon. If you don't follow me on social media, all of my links are down below at the bottom of the description, so you can go ahead and find me there. But yeah, it's been an interesting reading month so far. I have done something that is very unusual for me, and I have actually binge read a series, which is something that I don't really do. If you've been here for a while, you know that is not my thing. That is not my jam at all. I am a notorious series abandoner, at least in my early life, pre-booktube. I now have the sort of motivation to actually finish stuff these days, which is great, but I still really struggle to read series back to back to back. So I have actually, this is where I keep all of my books that I've read for the month. I have actually binge read the whole Graceling series by Kristin Cashore because Winterkeep, which is the 5th book, is coming out on I think the 21st of January, so this should be up by that time. So you can go ahead and check out my review on my blog. I'm on the blog tour. I very rarely do blog tours these days because I hate blog tours because I feel a lot of pressure from them, but I really was excited about this because I had read Graceling back in 2012 at my office job, where I basically didn't have anything to do but sit and read ebooks, and fortunately the New York Public Library has an amazing ebook library. So I read a ton of stuff, including Graceling. I never finished the series because I was really upset at the fact that the second book doesn't continue on with those characters, because it's a prequel, although it is, I think, required reading for the 3rd book because a lot of stuff gets drawn into that 3rd. So if you're wondering if you need to read Fire before Bitterblue, you probably should. But yeah, I never actually ended up finishing the series, but I really liked Graceling. I thought it was really fun. So when I found out that Winterkeep was coming out, I think 7 years after the publication of Bitterblue, which is the 3rd book in the series, I was very excited. So I went ahead and I just binge read the whole series and had a really good time with it. It has a lot of ups and downs. It shows its age in some ways, but it is a really mature YA series in terms of a lot of the themes. I might do a series review. I don't know, we'll see how filming Justine is feeling in a couple of weeks. But I am currently in the middle of Winterkeep, which is the one that I keep holding up. So I am 204 pages in, I'm almost halfway through. It took a little while for me to get into this book because I was not really feeling it, but I'm definitely there now. I was worried that it didn't have the kind of the charm of the first three, which, well, I'll talk about this, you know, in my wrap up or in a series review if I do one. I feel like a lot of my love of the Graceling series is not the characters, because they can be a little bit flat and they can be a little bit silly. It's really the world building and the storytelling. I think she's a great storyteller, and they're just charming, good fun, and I wasn't sure if those elements were in this, but I really do think that she's bringing it all together now, which is great. So I'm going to be reading this, and when I finish this, I have this whole range of books in front of me, excluding the one that I am going to be showing you because that's the one I'm planning on reading next. Please hold. Okay, so that next book that I am going to be reading is, I think, The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This is a two-person like pen name, so it's Marie Brennan, who writes the Memoirs of Lady Trent series, which I desperately need to read. I've heard I just love them. It's everything that I love in books in general. And then another author whose name I cannot actually remember off the top of my head. I will put it on the screen though, but they're an author I hadn't actually heard of before. And I've read a tiny bit. I've read like 30 pages of this because I'm meant to be buddy reading this with some booktube friends who are well ahead of me. Judith from Dead Good Book Reviews and Angela from Literature Science Alliance have both finished this well ahead of me. It's totally my fault because I didn't anticipate how long it would take to read 4 books in a series before getting to this one. So they have reviews posted. I'm also reading this with my friend Cassidy and my friend Nikki. So I'll post everyone's channels down below and reviews for this book where they are available. But this is really fun so far. It's a little bit dense in terms of the huge volume of names that is in this. It's like a sort of, it feels like a maybe like a Venetian type society. It's definitely Italian influenced, I think. And just the sheer volume of names is ridiculous. So you have lots of family names and nobility and things like that, but then you also have names of like organizations and positions that people hold, and names of, you know, the people who were conquered and the rebel groups within them, and the names of like the colonizers. It's just, there's a lot of names. So I know that some people haven't enjoyed this as much as they thought that they would, and I think the fact that it's a bigger book, which really took me by surprise. I didn't think that this was going to be as long for some reason. It's like 600 plus pages, and also the fact that it is a little bit dense getting into it probably throws people off a little bit. It threw me off a little bit, but yeah, I think it's quite good so far. I'm really enjoying this. So when I finish Winterkeep, I'm going to be getting on with Mask of Mirrors. And then I have so much stuff to read, you guys. I have so many January arcs, and while it has been amazing to binge read the entire Realm of the Graceling series, it has put off some of my review copy reading. So hopefully I'll be getting to some of that soon. I have a lot of really good stuff. I have a lot of really good stuff on NetGalley. If you have seen my past couple of monthly book hauls, you'll see that I have a ton of really good NetGalley stuff. The problem is that I read off of my iPad, and right now that's triggering some headaches and migraines. So I've slowed down a lot on my NetGalley reading, and therefore I'm requesting a lot less. But I do have some physical arcs as well. I'm currently surrounded by books, so I think I'm going to tidy up. I'm going to keep writing that review, and then at lunchtime will probably be over, so I'll have to get back to work. it's Friday now. I fully intended, as I always do. I'm such a failure with vlogs because I'll like film one day and then forget to film the rest, or something will happen or whatever. But I got sick, not terribly or anything like that, just had a bit of a hacking cough this week, so this may be creatively edited to get rid of my hacking coughing. But I'm here with my friend Dax, who has been lovely and supportive and rumbling in my face whenever I've been trying to nap. But I took a couple of days off from work to rest up because I've been really kind of fatigued to go along with it. But it's Friday, I'm feeling better. I'm just a little froggy and scratchy, but that's okay. So I'm back at work, it's lunchtime, and I have had a little bit of an undertaking over the past couple of days. So first things first, I finished Winter Keep by Kristin Cashore. I thought it was okay, it was fine. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I've posted a review on my blog for this because I was on the blog tour for publication day. And so if you want to see more of my thoughts before my wrap up, you can check that out. All of my social media is linked down below. But it was fine. It feels like a very different series. This is, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but it feels almost like how Brandon Sanderson has done like Mistborn and Mistborn Era 2. This feels like Graceling Era 2, and it's very different. Even the characters are quite different. Which I think characters are not necessarily her strong point for me. I don't love any of her characters except for Poe, who is like cinnamon roll prince of everything. He's amazing. But yeah, I thought it was okay, so you can check out more there. I might do like a series review or something, the Graceling series, but we'll see. And then I read The Sad Ghost Club by Liz Meddings. This is a very sweet graphic novel about basically a person who's depicted as a little ghost who has like anxiety and social anxiety and depression, and they end up making a friend, and it's just really sweet. If you're looking for plot, this is not what you're gonna get, but if you're looking for something really wholesome, this is very sweet. So I read both of those. I've got Dax sprawled on the desk next to me, so I can't get to my copy of Mask of Mirrors, but I am reading Mask of Mirrors now, as I mentioned in the first clip. That was going to be my next read, and it's good so far. I'm only a couple chapters in, but I think it's going to be a really good heist book, and I found that I have been getting quite disappointed by heist books. The past like few that I've read, I feel haven't been quite to like the caliber of what I want. Something like Mistborn, which I think is really good fun. So I think this is going to be it. This is going to be a really good one. She keeps rearranging herself on the desk, and it's very cute. But I am doing a little bit of a serious undertaking. I started last night, and I'm one of those people where like if I start something and I get really into it, I can't stop. So I stayed up too late last night doing this, and then I did some of this in the morning before work, and now at lunchtime. I'm putting my entire library into Notion. This was originally just going to be my TBR into Notion, but I have decided to like put every single book that I own, regardless of format, into Notion so that I can like filter it and keep track of everything. So at the moment we're at 891 books, which is really good fun. I am in the process of adding my NetGalley books. I'm through to like, I think this is early 2019. Early 2020, maybe late 2019, I don't know. I'm deep into NetGalley, and so I'm adding all of this onto the spreadsheet. Right now I'm just trying to get like title, author, sort of format. So if it's a NetGalley book, if it's an owned book off my TBR, if it's a borrowed book, an audiobook, a Kindle book, anything like that, like a special edition or a subscription box book, anything like that. And then I'm going to tag whether I've read it, I haven't read it, it's in the plans for rereading, or if I'm kind of in the middle of it, or if I've DNF'd it. Yeah, it's going to be quite an undertaking. I have the rest of my NetGalley books, which is several pages, and then I'm going to be adding in all of the books that I have read, which is these first 3 shelves here, which are floor to ceiling. I am really determined to try to get my physical TBR down a little bit. I'm going to be doing a video at some point about my physical TBR and my plans to go ahead and read it down a little bit. Scottish husband is making fun of me a lot because at the moment I have like 7 years worth of books here at the current rate that I read. What fun. But I am going to make a big effort to try to get this TBR down a little bit, because I am feeling kind of the looming despair of having 891 books here, although to be fair, some of these I have read, so that's something. But yeah, it has also showed me that I tend to buy a lot of duplicates of books in various formats. So some of them I have tagged like, I own a physical copy, I own the audiobook, I also own the ebook, and then sometimes I have like the NetGalley copy too, and I'm just like, why? So this is why I need a database like this. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this lunchtime, and probably how I'm going to carry on into the evening. We'll see how it goes, but in that TBR video that I am going to do, I will reveal what my TBR is currently at. My goal for the end of the year is to have it be less, even if it's just 1 book less. That would be really great. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm going to get back to it now. Hello, happy Saturday. So look at this bullshit. It is so beautiful and gorgeous and sunny outside. It's like the perfect day outside. And in Warwickshire, where my parents live, it's snowing, and I'm so jealous. I desperately want snow. We've had 1 big snowstorm since I've been here in the UK, or at least where I've happened to have lived in the UK, and that was like 2017, I think? And we haven't had another big snowstorm since, and I'm furious. I love the snow. I think some of it comes from like growing up in Southern California. The first time I ever like saw snow in real life, I'd been begging my dad to drive us up into the mountains to like play in the snow, and finally got him to do it. I opened the car door and immediately just wanted to go back home because it was so cold. And then like 10 minutes later, I fell into a snowbank and just burst into tears. I've had a much better relationship with snow ever since then, but I really wanted to snow. I can't believe it's sunny and beautiful. It's a stunningly gorgeous day, and I'm really furious about it. But hopefully tomorrow, the forecast says that we'll get heavy snow here, and I'm really excited. I really hope we get snow. So we'll see. Keep your fingers crossed for me, although it won't matter by the time you guys actually see this, but that's okay. So this weekend is definitely going to be dedicated to reading and knitting. So I am working on Mask of Mirrors. I am about 100 pages in, and I'm loving it. Being 100 pages in doesn't really mean a lot because this book is 650 pages long, so yeah, we're still at the very beginning of the story. I think I'm 4 chapters in, but I'm really loving this. They're doing such a great job of setting up all of like the world, as well as all of the elements for like a complicated plot that you need, and like the heist and everything, but doing it in such a way that none of it feels really info dumpy, and we're getting a lot of really fun stuff. So in the 3rd chapter, we're introduced to the Rook of the Rook and Rose trilogy, which is what this trilogy is called, and he's sort of like a Robin Hood highwayman-esque type character, except he deals out punishment to the nobility who are taking advantage of the poor, and basically dealing out the punishment that is sort of the law, but to people who don't actually really have the law applied to them. It's really fun. He's amazing, and I'm kind of in love with him already, presuming it's a man. They say he's a man. I'm not entirely convinced. But I'm really excited to learn more about them. I'm really liking Ren, who's our main character, who is this, I can't remember if I said this in the first clip because I've been ill, which means that my brain is completely like fried. But Ren is a girl who basically grew up on the streets of the city, and she has come back sort of to pull off this incredible conning her way into a noble family to sort of establish the fortune of her and her sister. So they're in the midst of this right now. It's really fun. I'm really enjoying this. I think that it's got a lot of names, and it's got a lot of like place names and just names everywhere, and it was quite hard to kind of get a grasp on everything at first, but I am doing that much better now, so I'm really, really enjoying this. I'm hoping to be maybe halfway through by the end of the weekend. I'd really, really like to crank through this one because I think it's going to be a super, super fun read. But otherwise, Scottish Husband and I discovered that there's actually a like record shop in town, and they're open for collection only, and they put their stock list online. And we got a record player for Christmas from my sister, and we picked up a lot of stuff from the shop today. So we're currently listening to a lot of records. We went through Back in Black by AC/DC, and now we are listening to their Nirvana Live from New York Unplugged album, which I had never heard before. So we are listening to records, and I am knitting. So I'm doing a couple of things. I'll model this for you when it's done, because I am planning on finishing this today. If you're not interested in knitting, I don't care. You're gonna have to watch this anyway or skip ahead. But I'm almost done with my fox jumper. Look how cute they are. I love them so much. But I'm on the second sleeve. Left sleeve is done. Working on the right sleeve. Once I finish this, I'm done. No seaming or anything like that, which is the benefits of doing a top-down sweater. So I'll model this for you guys when I'm done. And then because I got so bored of just knitting brown, and also I feel like for this lockdown, because everything is so like dreary and I feel like all hope is lost, I decided to make myself some outrageous socks. I haven't made socks in a long time. They're not that hard, but there's one particular bit that's a little complicated, which is making the heel, like turning it like that. So we'll see if I remember how to do that, but I'm making outrageous rainbow socks. So this is what I have so far, and they make me really happy. There's apparently blue in here somewhere. I never use like this kind of colorful yarn because I think it's usually honestly pretty ugly, but like this made me really happy. So it's got all these colors in it. And I also have a set of like, it comes in like various shades of purple and blue. So I'm gonna be knitting myself a lot of outrageous socks. Outrageous socks for the cats, for me, for Scottish Husband. It'll be really great. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for this whole weekend, I think. I would like to be another 100 pages into Mask of Mirrors by the end of the day. And it's not flying by as quickly as something like the Graceling books were earlier this month, but that's just like particularly easy reading, I think. But I'm really, really enjoying this. It's definitely like pulling me into the world. So I'm hoping to be 200 pages into this by the end of the day, and then hopefully I will have my foxy jumper to show you guys. I'm so excited for this. It makes me so happy. The jumper is done. I'm so pleased. Look at that. It's so cute. It makes me so happy. I will show off at some point on probably my knitting Instagram, which is, I should stitch that because I think I'm cute. I'll show off what it looks like in full, but it makes me so happy. It's got little foxes on it, and it's got this little pattern and stuff on the arms, and then I have it at the bottom here as well, which I added on, wasn't actually in the pattern, but it's so cute. Look, it makes me so happy. So what I have to do now for anyone who is curious about how knitting works is I have to do something called blocking, which basically there are many methods of blocking, but what I'm gonna do is just dunk it in the sink with a little bit of like gentle detergent and sort of wash it. And then you squeeze out all of the water with a towel, and you put it on a foam mat and you pin it down into whatever shape you kind of want it to be in, and it'll dry that way, and it like relaxes the stitches, so it's a bit bumpy, you can kind of see, so all of that will come out, and then it'll also bring the sleeves down a little bit. I want them to be like here, and then I will also bring the sort of body of it down a little bit, so it's a little bit further down, and it's so cute and it makes me so happy. I've been working on this probably for a grand total of like 3 weeks or so. I have had some breaks where I haven't been knitting as much, but it's so cute. So this is what I do when I'm not reading, sometimes while I am reading, because audiobooks exist. Yay! It's Sunday evening, it's about 5 o'clock, and it's time to wrap up this vlog. I'm really sorry for the shitty lighting. It's dark out because it's 5 o'clock, and I cannot be bothered to bring out my ring light, so yeah, we're just gonna deal with it. But it was a really good weekend. It was a really good week, other than the whole hiccup of getting sick in the middle of it. I had a really good week, even though I didn't end up reading as much as I wanted to. I still had a great time. So obviously yesterday I finished up my jumper, which is currently drying in the bathroom, and I'm so excited to actually be able to wear it. Hopefully I'll be able to put it on for some videos. I ended up getting snow. I was so happy. We ran out at about 8 or 9 o'clock this morning and were some of the first people out and just stomped through the snow and had a fabulous time. We tried to build a snowcat. It looks more like something that crawled out of the portal from hell, but that's okay. It's a little horrifying looking. And then this afternoon I had a video chat with Judith and Asha and had a really great time. I decided to take a nap before our call. This is what it's like being friends with me. I decided to have a nap before our call. I woke up like 15 minutes before and I was like, great, I'll just like close my eyes and kind of like try to like wake up and become human. And then I opened my eyes again and it was like half an hour later than the call. So I like scrambled on, my mic wasn't working, they could see me like cursing and swearing, handing it to Scottish husband, trying to have him figure it out, log off, log on, log off, log on, and then finally it worked. So it was a little bit chaotic, but that's okay. It was really good fun and it was so good to see them. And yeah, so this evening has basically been editing my reading vlog, which of course you are watching now, and I think I'm going to make myself some dinner here soon and I am going to be continuing on with Mask of Mirrors. I will confess I have not read any more than the 100-ish pages that I read yesterday. I'm still in the exact same place. I was so excited about finishing my jumper yesterday that I just ended up not really reading at all. I was just like sending pictures of it to everyone and like posting it on Instagram and stuff. So this is going to be my main focus for the evening and for this coming week, which hopefully I will vlog, but you never know with me and vlogging. I'm so inconsistent with it, so hopefully you will see more progress with this book next week, but don't hold your breath, you'll see it in a wrap-up. But I am still really enjoying this. There have been other things going on, like snow and cats and knitting, so this is going to be my main focus for next week. And then the other books that I read that I talked about in this vlog were Winterkeep by Kristin Cashore. This is the 4th book, not the 5th book as I think I said at the beginning, in the Graceling series. I gave this 3.5 out of 5. It was a good fun read. It took me a while to get into it, and I don't know if this is just sort of me having just read the other books and if this is kind of like a symptom of series binging, but it just felt really different from the others, and I don't know if this is intentionally sort of different or not, but it didn't really feel like it knew if it was an adult or a YA book because it sort of treated things in a very YA way and had a lot of kind of the themes of YA, but the characters were a lot older, and it talks about a lot of things like, you know, climate change and stuff, which I expect to see in adult fantasy novels rather than YA, although I'm very pleased to see that as a theme in fantasy in general. So I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. I did, as I said, post a review of this on my blog, and all of my links are down below if you want to go ahead and check that out. If you are interested in a full series review of the Graceling books, including Winterkeep, definitely let me know. If you guys are interested, I'll do it. I may still do it even if no one says that they are. We'll see. And then the other book that I read was The Sad Ghost Club by Liz Meddings. This was very sweet. I really enjoyed it. It's very wholesome, a super fast read because it is a graphic novel, and it was lovely. I really enjoyed it. I think that this is the kind of book I really would have connected with very strongly as a teenager. So if you are a teenager, I know there aren't a lot who watch this channel, but if you are a teenager and you are someone who suffers from anxiety or depression, especially social anxiety, I would absolutely recommend this because this, I think, is sort of the perfect thing to make you sort of assured that you are not alone in feeling the way that you do. I really loved this. I thought it was so sweet and it was such a refreshing read because so little of what I read is really kind of uplifting and wholesome. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. So that is it for this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed getting back to vlogging, and fingers crossed I will be doing more in the future. But I would love to know what you read this week, or if any of these books are in your TBR, or if you've already read them. And also, if you are in the UK and you got lots of snow, tell me how you celebrated when you went stomping around outside, because I feel like we so rarely get like lots of snow. This is like a big event. I post bookish content to this channel fairly frequently, so go ahead and hit subscribe, check back soon, and I will see you next time.